Well, we are, very pleased with our November, right? That was just really fun to see their growth. And I think the end of November, those last two games, we really, it wasn't pretty, but we were without Lucy, who'd been we've run everything through her, and we hadn't really faced any pressure up until then. And then everybody licks their chops when your key ball handler's out. So we got better from the Rhode Island game to the BYU game, and we got some people some really great minutes that I don't think would have gotten minutes had Lucy not had the mishap. So I was happy with how that the last two games were, and now we're coming back and excited to have this opportunity in New York and getting to play a really, really great team in Tennessee.
How's Lucy doing, and are you kind of still shaking her head?
Yeah, a little bit. It was just a really bizarre mishap, and so she's practicing, but she's not quite back to herself yet. It was just a pretty tough cut, but she's going. It just, I hope it feels a lot better in a couple days. We have tomorrow off of practice, so it'll be good to kind of, I think, let it heal a little bit more.
So is it a deal with a raised floor?
No, it was unique in the sense of it's really good floors, and it's a really good tournament in that sense. But the floor is like, it isn't Carver, right? It's raised. And so then there's the edge of it, and it's in a banquet hall. So kind of think the Hyatt Regency or any wedding venue that you're in. The doors, it just was it's close, right? But not so much you're safe, you're running into it if you hustle. But it's like she kind of stepped off, but then the doorway was about 4 or 5 feet, but there was a tile that led to that. So then it was misshapen again a little bit. But I mean, to hit it that perfectly, I don't know if you could have practiced falling to hit it like that, right? It just had to be the right way that it just, was able to immediately cut it. So it wasn't anything that was unsafe. It was just, could have happened really anywhere. It was just a really weird angle, and it was pretty intense.
Right on her knee?
Yeah, right across it. But the nice thing was, one of our docs, it's skin, right? The skin is so much better than anything else could be on the body, right? So, yeah, she's very, very tough, though. I'll tell you that she's even going, because it's a tough gash.
So was that after practice on Wednesday, or
right away? Not even. We were just getting ready to start. It was literally 3 minutes before we started. Yeah.
What can you say about the team's ability to kind of handle a freak accident like that to their starting point guard?
That she's getting taken care of right off of that floor, because it's a big, like a Hyatt conference room. So the court's there, but there's a lot of space. So the docks are kind of right there. So your eyes want to go over, is she okay? But I think we did a good job saying it's skin, right? But it's still, when one of your teammates is in an uncomfortable situation, they love each other a lot. So I thought they did an excellent job of focusing. They practiced hard for that time frame. And I think they kept their focus for the most part. I mean, you take anybody out of any starting lineup that's your quarterback, it's going to be a little tough sledding, and that could have gone a lot of different ways. In the Rhode Island game, they were a really scrappy, hard-nosed team. Their coach, I like and respect a lot. And I knew, even before anybody was hurt, those games in the islands and the other countries are tough. So I'm just thankful that we got it. And yeah, we didn't look always sharp, and it, a little sloppy, but we're pretty young, and I have to remember that.
You never want one of your better ball handlers, your best ball handler, to be out, but with a team like Tennessee coming up and the pressure you're going to face with them, was it, kind of maybe a little blessing to have that pressure?
It's like, because we got the sense of what that's going to be like, and obviously Tennessee is going to be another level up with their size and athleticism, and that's what their coaching staff has done and does. So it was, I told them, I said it was, just a great challenge, and when you get to learn and grow and get a win, that's what's so good about it. But yeah, I mean, because you just can't get your practice squads to simulate presses sometimes. And I mean, we can't even get them to simulate what Tennessee's going to do. So the best thing that happened was that feeling. You know, if you play basketball, you know the feeling of getting pressed, right? When all of a sudden you're like, whoa, they're coming in, you don't have a dribble left, and that blood pressure goes up. So that was the best part that happened down in Mexico, is they got that feeling in an intense environment, what they had to do, and started to square up with a little more authority. So that did prepare us, I hope. It gave us another type of dress rehearsal, but I'm telling you, that Tennessee press is impressive.
I know you had planned on ramping up Aaliyah going down there ahead of time to get her not just more minutes, but significant minutes in the kind of heat of battle as she's trying to get her head spinning or stop from spinning. Just how productive was the week for her?
Yeah, I think that was great. I mean, I don't know if we win without Aaliyah Guyton down there, right? Because she, I was so impressed with her. I mean, you think about it, she hadn't played a game in 11 and a half months, a game, right? She just really got cleared Friday, the Friday before, to go hard and no rules. So then she comes down, and it's not just, it's not cush. She got in a little bit before we left, right? But it was nothing on the line. Then we're asking her to go in and being like, you got to handle the pressure. And oh, by the way, no one's scoring. We need you to score. And oh, by the way, you need to direct the offense. And she made some turnovers and some unforced, errors. But man, I think even if you played golf and you didn't golf for about 11 months, it'd be kind of intimidating to go out there and, kind of tee it off right down the fairway. And I thought she did a really, really nice job. We probably, played her a little bit too many minutes, because the knee, you got to manage the load. So, we'll get that, continue to do that. But she sure looked good when she was down there.
Would she allow you to play Lucy off the ball some if that's what you want to do?
Yeah, she could. We're not ready for that yet. She had some nice minutes down there by virtue of have to, but I don't know if that's in our best to slide someone else out of that starting lineup. Kylie's playing pretty well. Sid gives us a whole thing, a whole different, physical, bigger statue. Makes us a little bit small, if we were to do that. But I think once she gets more and more used to our system, I think that could be a possibility, but I'm not gearing up for that possibility. Only because I kind of like the way we're going with others. But again, if she's playing that well and she's shooting that well, that's certainly something that we could entertain.
What is it about Tennessee's press that makes it challenging?
Yeah, I think they, they're just, I think their smallest player is 5'10", right? So they're just a lot of size, and that's just kind of what they do. So make or miss, and they have 2 or 3 different types that they seemingly are their favorites. So it keeps coming at you, right? And I think that's the thing, the size. And, some people will press on, free throws and dead balls, right? They'll kind of have a cadence. With Tennessee, they like to go, go, go. And they also, do some of those hockey subs. So it just always, poses a little bit of a different challenge when you got 5 coming in. And, what's fun about basketball is every game presents a different game plan and strategy. So it's difficult, but it's also interesting because we haven't faced this for a real long time. And it'll be interesting to see how our team responds, because there's a lot of kids on that lineup you have to know, because they all play a lot of minutes. Sometimes if you have someone, point guard usually plays 39 minutes, right? So the backup, you maybe don't have to be as keyed in. But with this team, you really have to kind of lock in on their personnel.
Offensively, they really subscribe to the shoot a three-pointer or a shot in the lane. How do you defend a team that shoots like 48% of their shots from 3?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we? Yeah, I think it goes back to kind of knowing personnel and, trying to figure out, how to take away some of their favorite things that they like to do. They're pretty talented. They got some kids who can get downhill real fast. They got, so they're going downhill really fast, so you need to help, but you got that amazing shooter in the corner, right? So we need to, I think, just really need to be pretty locked into who does what well and try to make that a little harder. And I think if we try to make their strengths a little harder, I'm hoping that will offset, everything that they like to do that gives them that really wide open three or that layup. So we're trying some different things, but we're going to have our hands full. But I love the fight in our team. I like they're embracing it. They're been practicing hard. Had the day off. We came back from Cancun, and then we'll have the day off tomorrow. And we'll get a couple days at it. But I think they're embracing it, and I think they're up for the challenge.
What does still being undefeated mean to them? Because you can tell.
We really haven't talked about it. I don't really think it wasn't a goal. It wasn't, I just feel like we've just been pretty locked into kind of, doing what we do and trying to improve and really enjoy the journey. I know that sounds cliche, but we never had that goal. I never set that. So when that happened, it was just kind of fun. You got down to, you started to think about it. As you're coaching, it's just the next game, right? The next game, and everybody else tells you what you're 5-0, 6-0, whatever. And so when we got there, then I decided it would be kind of fun to have a no-lose November, like the no shave for some of you guys, right? So that was kind of fun. But now I think it's a new month, new page. And and I've told you before, I'm clearly aware of this schedule, right? It gets markedly harder on Saturday night. It's a big stage, and it's a SEC team. After that's Iowa State, who thinks they're tremendous, great. They have all they're great people back, and they've been, had the little couple tests, right? So they're gonna, get better and learn. And then UNI's playing fantastically. It just keeps getting harder. So I'm not looking in that rear view mirror with the undefeated November. I know that then after this, undefeated Michigan State looms on December 15th. So I think we do best when we just kind of stay in our lane and just try to win the next one. And I think that's what this team has really done pretty well. They don't get too high, they don't get too low. They just kind of enjoy the journey. And I think if we can keep doing that, I think we can be okay.
You mentioned after the Washington State win.
Pardon me?
You mentioned after the Washington State win that this team found a different way to win. Every time we talked to the players, it sounds like that was really deliberate and they're really confident in their ability to stop a team on the defensive end. How did that come about? Why was it deliberate like that? And how did they gain confidence? Well,
I just think, we've tried to hit on defense a little bit more, but, defensively, it doesn't have to play with your mind. Like, you miss your shot, right? Okay, you miss 2 or 3, and it's like, and then it becomes like, oh, my free follow through, is the rim tight, In defense, you don't have any of that, right? You can just be like, I can lock it down, I can get to my spot, I can overplay here, those are things that don't change. The lighting doesn't change, whatever those things that can mess with your mind. I try to tell them it's a good thing in life to, control the controllables. But we can't control the lighting. You can't control whatever it is in your mind. Don't make those excuses. But I think on the defensive end, there's some comfort. Is like, I can do this. It has nothing to do with any of these uncontrollables. I control my positioning. I control my hit. I control knowing the scout. And so I like him to get a little bit of confidence with that and lean on that. So I think the more we can lean on that, it can kind of get you through some of the rougher waters when, we're trying to continue getting our offense in sync, because it's so interesting. Even like this would have been a great couple days in my mind to get Lucy with Sid back and with, Hannah. Those are kind of our big threes. And then now we lost that for a couple of days with the press breaker, which we really would have liked to work on, knowing that Tennessee's coming, right? So it just, we got to lean on something with that defense, because we just haven't been able to really make that offense get as fluid. So that's what I think I like what they're doing with the defense, leaning on it, and they know they can have it most every night.
I know we're still 4 games out, but if you had to put a term to it, whether it's questionable or unlikely or out or whatever, where would you put Lucy right now?
I think it's more likely than not, because she's so tough, right? I think we just have to see how it responded today with a lot more reps and see what it looks like tomorrow, right? But then tomorrow we get that day of rest, so we won't be missing anything. But she's a really tough kid. And she's kind of going back home, right? It's kind of fun. All the people could see her a little closer. So I'm optimistic about it, but I'll feel even better tomorrow when I hear the report that it responded pretty well.